So we're not going to have a actual town council meeting unless one of the other three shows up. We've sent messages to one of them who was hopefully going to show up. The mayor is unavailable and Sandy was out of town. So thanks for coming. This is obviously a very important topic that we wanted to discuss today, which is trying to make sure that we still have our Labor Day parade, which is an annual parade that we've had here for, someone can tell me.
100 years.
We haven't missed it, right, for 100 years, right? So this is important, and is anybody in the room that's against having a parade? Oh, great, so we're all here on the same side of things.
There won't be any arguing.
I know that some of you have information that you'd like to share. I have all the time in the world to go and talk about this. I know the paper's going to report on this. We do have information from the chamber about the permit that they applied for through ODOT, that they can't transfer it. However, we will contact ODOT and see how difficult that is to transfer on short notice. Hopefully they're willing to work with us. I know there are other avenues that we could take, I guess, to still have some kind of event.
Does that mean that the chamber's not gonna do it?
Correct.
Yeah,
For sure.
I met with them today at 10
we just had a
o'clock. If
meeting
you want to know what has happened.
Yeah, you
Go ahead and
if you just
just go ahead with your agenda and we'll get to that. Oh, you want me to start?
So our agenda only was this, and again, we're not adopting the agenda because we're not really having a full, we're not quorum, so we can't make any decisions, the two of us, obviously, not being a quorum. But we certainly want to hear your suggestions, so it's almost like a work session right now with two councilors. So I'm gonna sit down, and then if you just want to announce, I guess probably just for the examiner's benefit, as he's reporting on this, who you are, and that's most of it.
So like a roll call?
No,
If you wanna
not like that. If you want to speak, just say, maybe if you have an affiliation,
I'm Robert Voles. I was questioning the decision on Facebook the other day, and she said that there was several factors involved with this decision, and I asked her what these were, and she wouldn't come forth, wouldn't tell me, and so we scheduled the meeting, had it this morning with her, and it boiled down to, first they were trying to say it was something with ODOT not being able to get the permit, but I knew that wasn't the case, and I said, well, that's not really the case. She goes, oh, I know, that was a mistake, we didn't realize that, and then I said, then she started saying it was her insurance company, which I highly doubt. I'm pretty familiar with the laws on that, and concerning an epidemic or a pandemic, and that's not the case either. And so it basically boiled down to they're afraid.
Period.
That was the only excuse that they had fear that something might happen, but they couldn't elaborate to me what that fear was that isn't there in previous years. And it just seemed like a kind of a runaround, and it kind of devolved into an argument.
Yeah, and let's try to keep this as positive as possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the information. I do want to give Nikki credit for helping pull this meeting together, and all of you guys to be here in support of this. I know there are hundreds of voices out there that would love to be here if our time may be a little later in the day, but also, there are the chatter on Facebook, and there is the support, we know that in the community. And yes, there's definitely fear, and nobody obviously wants to get sued. And the number one thing is we don't want COVID back in the community with active cases, because that may shut our schools down and really be a huge problem for our schools and for our students and our kids and our families. So those who are working and have to be at their jobs and leave their kids at school, so they're able to do that as well.
So what I'd like to just say is, we were contacted by a few people with the Roundup. We already work with the Roundup, we have been for the last few years, and said, what do you guys think? So what I've already done to just save us a lot of time, our insurance in our club will take this on
Yes.
and
Thank you.
go forward on it. And we have the people, we have the crew, and like the ODOT insurance has to go under ours, and then whatever, we gotta show you guys for the permit. And we just gotta announce it.
So
That's
really,
awesome.
we
Thank you
have
so
it
much.
down. We really appreciate you guys stepping up because it's not an easy feat. And we understand there's risk associated with I think that really the only thing is if you guys can push the paperwork on ODOT, side and your insurance, we don't ask for proof of that, honestly, on the town side, we have a maybe 1-page application for a permit, not even in.
We don't do the permits.
Yeah.
Where we just give,
We give permission, we have to have,
Authorization.
we have to have authorization on ODOT. We do have to see that paperwork.
which we had the last, when we approved the chamber, all we had was a application, not an approved
Right,
application.
but we need the approved application. Usually they send it to me after we approve
Prior
that, yes,
to.
they can still have it. So you can still bring us, showing us that you did contact ODOT. And then we have to have the parade route of the map.
Yeah,
Would
which
you have a copy of?
I can give you.
I've drove it 100 times, so I
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where to go.
So the parade route and the date and time were the only things that this council really voted on our our August 25th meeting that we held. And which was our last regular meeting in this room. So, that vote was unanimous to have the parade move forward. There's no change that we're making or even suggesting, and we can't, obviously, it's not a quorum. So that sounds wonderful. Give us the details when you have that, get it to town manager.
Don't we have a
Michelle
meeting
Perry.
on Friday anyways? Cause did you
Yes.
guys cancel?
No, we ended up moving that way into September
Okay.
because,
People are going.
yeah, we
So-
ended up moving that to the 17th.
So does anyone else really want to speak to it? It sounds like we have a path moving forward.
Yep.
And, you guys feel comfortable and I
What's
think.
the fear? I heard him say fear, them say fear.
I can express, if you really wanna know, they suggested that their personal liability for someone suing the event because they got sick.
So,
This is a perfect thing for the guidelines that they set up. I mean, this is a small town fair. The floats are separated, the people are separated, hell, they can separate by.
All of it's outdoors, every
Yeah.
bit
It's all
of
They didn't-
outdoors, yeah.
They couldn't control the crowd, they couldn't trace the people that would show up, they couldn't.
Fear.
But when I asked them, can't you depend on us policing ourselves? We wash our hands, we distance, we are healthy. And even this, and I asked them again, are any of you looking at the CDC guidelines? As of Friday, they really changed those guidelines. And Robert can elaborate on that.
Yeah, they've dialed that back a lot on the mask mandate, and the number of deaths has gone down 94% because they were miscounting essentially.
They were adding everybody up.
I'm a Jennifer for research. I think the biggest thing that I would ask from High Desert for the well-being of our high-risk population, we have a huge area that clogs up kind of in here, I think, is that we ask people to really try not to, to really distance themselves. Whereas areas, when you guys post your information, just say, the highly populated areas where people watch on the parade route, really just space out better.
Yeah, like the riders and protesters.
Yeah.
Why can't we
So,
claim it as a
hey-
protest and forget about all of it?
And that, I'll be real honest, I would full game if this wasn't gonna go forward,
Let's do it then. Who's gonna stop
The way I
us?
look at it, I don't care how it's gonna, we're a community that's gonna get together.
You're damn
And
right.
the people that, or a person that that lives in Portland, let's just say, I think any community gets together, it seems like we're gonna have some cases come up.
Mhm.
And does it?
No.
But, it's a,
We flattened the
Yeah,
curve a
okay.
long time ago.
So again, if I can summarize both our thoughts and everything that you've said so far, is that we want you to work with the town manager to get us any update and see what we need to do with ODOT. Obviously, we know we're a community that steps up and does it. And there's no way us two counselors and anyone in this community would say, hey, let's step out of the guidelines and not follow the law. We're gonna follow the law, we're gonna social distance. but be
Those are not
respectful of your
laws.
neighbors.
Whoa, I'm all for following laws and respecting, but when they're real laws and not unconstitutional laws, let's make sure that we are on the same
No, I
page,
know- I
because
know-
you're gonna get me
No, I'm not.
You're gonna get me with the bullhorn in here, telling me about the Constitution, is what you're gonna get.
We're gonna do everything that we're being asked to do, and we're gonna have a fun time, and we're gonna continue
People
our
can
traditional
celebrate.
lives, so.
I'll ask, are you guys gonna allow throwing candy? I mean, not that anybody's policing you, I will be very clear about that. I
Well, what
don't
the hell, they
think-
threw it at Walmart.
But
Yeah.
I was
That's right.
told that they were
Threw it on
told,
the
people
counter.
in the parade were told not to even.
Well, the way I look at it, we're starting our own rules or whatever, so.
That's right.
You can't control or do what
That's,
people do.
I just wanted to
I'm not gonna
kind
check
of
their
put my 2 cents
flow.
in there.
So,
There you
It's
go.
usually
and if you are afraid, and I think we'll say this maybe on the radio, if you are afraid, don't pick up the key.
Don't come,
come.
don't show up,
Stay home.
stay home.
You'll be safe
So-
there.
Who made the
Amanda
rule?
needs to
Yeah, who made these rules?
Couple of things, just one thing, just the fear, I do understand that as somebody that's putting on the event, you are taking on a lot. We just put on the junior rodeo a little over 3 weeks ago, and I will say, we were nervous, we vacillated back and forth for a month deciding whether or not it was the right thing to do. It was 3.5 weeks ago, people came from various places. There's been no cases popped up, I've not been contacted by anybody, everything was safe, everything was fine.
They have a good
The
time.
kids were so happy to have a
Yep.
place
That's
to go,
right.
and the
I
parents
didn't
were
see
so
that.
gracious and so happy.
That chokes me up a little.
We had our guidelines in place, we had them posted, we asked people to follow them, could we police everybody that was there? No. And, but the second
I
thing
don't-
is,
I know.
We're
it's
just, we're
4:45,
Yes, we are.
I'm most concerned about this ODOT permit.
Yeah.
We've got 4 business days.
Yeah.
To get that through, are there some phone calls? I mean, I'd be happy to get some calls going now if we needed to, but.
How crucial is the ODOT permit if we have all insurance umbrella?
I don't think it's gonna be a problem, because it's already been approved. I think it's just gonna be a switch of the,
The name.
yes.
Agreed.
Instead of the chamber, it's gonna be the district.
Is that gonna go through Medford then?
it should be, I would imagine it should be.
Excuse me?
Does that go through the Medford office then?
I'm assuming
Somebody
where, yeah,
local?
I'll
And
find out.
I think
Okay.
we
soon.
have, not that I can speak for the sheriff's department, but I think that we would have support with them with any traffic issues, even if it was a protest.
Well, I'm just suggesting if the ODOT crushes us, let's just make it a protest and do it anyway.
You just cross the highway, pretty much.
So I would just like to say on a positive note that I'm willing to help in any way possible.
Yep, us too.
That's what I'm here for. So Tom, I just want to reach out to you and to the Desert Cruisers to feel like you can contact us at Bloomers. We want to support this and we want it to come off in a classy, nice way like it always does. We want the girls to be able to ride, the court to be able to be there. Those girls have been shorted everything.
A year,
Yes.
a
We would
whole
like them
year.
to have their glory, just this little bit of glory. And we want it to not be confrontational, just make it be a nice, beautiful parade. And so if there's anything at all that we can do to that end to help facilitate that, I just hope that you'll reach out to us on Facebook or personally so we can help you guys make this work.
Okay.
Same thing with Animal House.
That's the other thing, is like there were
For sure.
agencies, when I was having a discussion with my husband about this, there's agencies that couldn't get involved if it was a protest, such as the government
Certainly.
agencies, the fire trucks and stuff. And I was
Darn.
like, man, however, if you guys get this going,
Right.
that allows them, are you guys thinking you're gonna do applications or forms at all, just keep it real simple?
Awesome.
Okay,
Parade, there's,
Show up at 9 at this location and let's do it.
So how are the logistics gonna work though, like with the roundup? I mean, we've got kids on horses, we got all kinds of stuff going on.
it's gonna be organized where we let the roundup go first, like normal,
Okay.
and then you funnel. I mean, we're just,
trying
nothing's
to
gonna
keep it
change,
traditional.
you know, I'll contact whoever usually did it, I don't know. and We'll go
We
through it,
love to
we'll make it happen, I mean, it's not a big.
That's like my favorite thing about parades is that
Yeah, so if you're involved
People that have
with
been
forward.
doing banners, so.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
not like
and
everybody's gonna have to be lined up and then, okay, this
Yeah.
float's going, that float's going, it doesn't
down
have
the
to be a
line
set
where they
order.
did last year.
Probably all the animals,
Yeah.
right,
I don't think anything
like
should
you said.
Just like in their work, cause you gotta keep the horses away from the bigger, louder vehicles,
Oh, yeah.
I think, and stuff, and then you got your Cooper Scoopers at the end.
I think a lot of your horse groups, if you have people that are doing that, they can self-manage. You know, like Lake County Horsemen's Association has officers and they have people, and I don't think it's that huge because they meet in a group. You know, those kind of things, the floats are kind
Don't
of.
they usually go first, all the horses, all the,
A lot of them.
Yeah, just from what the map shows, horse lineup is about at the tracks on South Third. at the railroad tracks, and then further out to the west is where the float lineup is at, which is at least past T Street. It must be closer out to Roberta, so.
Oh.
And on the town side, we normally made a post asking people not to park, and I think we put some signs, roadblocks out.
Do you need help with the
Public Works is
roadblock stuff?
Public Works is
So we'll
involved.
do our normal
Okay.
thing since we approved a parade.
Maybe
route.
just put it on, what I would recommend as far as the lineup thing, so maybe take a little bit of pressure off for you guys, is maybe just put it on Lakeview announcements and say floats lining up on South Third by the ballparks, horses by the, in their usual places, maybe that would just help clarify it for people and take some of it off.
I'll get ahold of Marcy too and get on the radio and we'll do that too. We'll try to advertise it.
Awesome.
Well, let's
We really
know,
appreciate
The
you
town
guys
manager
doing
know,
that.
and she can pull the council together again if we need to have a special meeting to accept the new ODOT, application or something, we've still got time. Something happened before.
Yes.
Now,
In
Tony,
24 hours, we can call a special
are
meeting.
you still gonna move forward with this even if the ODOT thing can't be transferred? I mean, like, that's kind
We'll
of
support you.
inconsequential.
Honestly, I'd probably call the sheriff's department and see if they can just block the road.
Escort
Right,
us.
right. The only thing I'm
Just to see
trying to say here, and I
I
told
know it's
them,
against the law to block the state highway, but
Not
look
if
what
you're
else is going on in the
right,
Not if you're
Not if
protesting.
you're
Honestly.
protesting.
but what I was trying to say, and I told them, if you end up not being able to do it for some
Yeah, we can do
reason,
whatever we
Animal
want
House
on
will
a
do it. Now,
protest.
we don't have the this and the that, but I just had a really cool parade here, and a lot of people showed up, and we had a great time. No hassles, no nothing.
No
We just came
shenanigans.
out in the sunshine and had a great time, and nobody got sick.
The biggest issue you have to deal with on the ODOT permit is because it goes down the
Right,
highway here,
yeah.
you're impeding traffic. And I personally would worry about the children and the animals, out there, worst case scenario, you can end the parade at this here and then people disperse and we not go down that road.
We kept crossing it.
Worst case.
And
That's a
trying to
great
stay
idea,
off it,
just
yeah.
cross it back and forth.
We can't end up going down it.
That would just be
That's
changing
the
the
biggest
parade
issue
route.
with ODOT.
That would be as simple as changing the parade route.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we can look at that if we need to, so let's,
Yeah.
let's work with ODOT, hopefully they don't close till 5, you can get on the phone with them real quick, we probably got their contacts for you. And then let's just keep moving forward, and then just let us know if you need any more help from us. Hopefully we get a
Or us,
form
or
if we
them.
need to take a vote. So I appreciate you guys coming today, and especially all those that are gonna volunteer to make this thing happen. We've got a great community that's continuing to show that.
Especially Desert
Huge
Cruisers.
success.
Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Thank you, I mean it.
Thanks, guys. Let's go.
Thank you.